U.S. criminal justice system creates and maintains a racial hierarchy by incarcerating mostly blacks, also known as the term mass incarceration. There really was never an end to this racial caste system, but rather a mere redesign of this caste system. Ever since the end of Jim Crow, everybody is expected to be colorblind, or in other words, it's not an excuse to use someone's race as justification towards discrimination or social content. Basically, blacks were being stereotyped as crack whores and criminals. As a result, the criminal justice system could easily convict blacks without causing too much of a riot. Even some blacks themselves were believing the propaganda that their own kind were the cause of rising crimes in America, even though the majority of crack and cocaine users were majorly the white youth. During the Jim Crow era, people could explicitly state that their reason for segregation and discrimination was due to the color of someone's skin. In this era of mass incarceration, it is implicitly stated that blacks are generally more likely to be criminals and predators, and that they're the ones who use drugs the most. In 1961, 81% of the people who responded to the Gallup poll responded that law and justice has broken down in the US, and that the majority of people who started riots were black or communists. In the media and the news, it is always reported whenever a black person commits a wrongdoing, whereas other races are rarely reported to be the perpetrator. In this way, the old racial hierarchy was never trashed. It was merely just redesigned into a system which deceives not only the eyes, but also the minds of the population.
Today, mass incarceration mirrors and serves the same purpose that Jim Crow did in this era. In politics, both their purposes were for the white elites to use the working class whites' fears and racism to gain power in politics and the economy. During Jim Crow, segregation laws were used to divert built-up resentment from the wealthy and put it towards African Americans. Mass incarceration works in the same way by using the war on drugs to put attention on so-called black criminal drug dealers and gangbangers. Political favor was won by politicians being hard on crime. Disenfranchisement is a big part of both Jim Crow and mass incarceration. During Jim Crow, African Americans were denied the right to vote through poll taxes and literacy tests. Today, found disenfranchisement laws in 48 states take the right to vote from incarcerated felons, 35 take the right to vote from felons on probation, and 4 states deny the right from convicted felons for life. Being that nationwide, 1 in 7 black men is a convicted felon, in some states the number is even higher, 1 in 4. These numbers really show how blacks are targeted and how much mass incarceration relates to the Jim Crow era. Just like blacks during the Jim Crow era, felons today are treated differently. They are treated as second-class humans. There's a certain stigma about being a felon today or a free African American during Jim Crow. The police today are like the lynch mobs of Jim Crow, keeping black felons in check even if they don't have a reason to. However, the police don't only bother felons, but blacks who they think look like felons. Stigma being a felon doesn't stop there, but also accounts for jobs and housing. Jim Crow had white-only signs, while housing and employers today have the box that asks, "Are you a felon?" This allows employers and housing officials to legally discriminate against felons who are disproportionately black men. Just like Jim Crow, blacks can be discriminated against. We just don't know it because it's under a different name.
There are numerous factors of society that needs to be revised and altered in order to end mass incarceration and permanently eliminate the racial caste system in the United States. Michelle Alexander, author of the novel titled The New Jim Crow, mentions in her book, along with many other solutions, that the public consensus supporting mass incarceration is officially colorblind. This means that some people resist seeing racism as an ongoing problem or one that is deeply rooted in our society. Colorblindness prevents them from seeing how much inequality remains in the United States racial caste system. A couple solutions to these issues in America were mentioned by Michelle Alexander when she stated that we must face the realities of the new caste system and embrace those who are facing oppression by the criminal justice system if we hope to end the new Jim Crow. We must also end the war on drugs. The war on drugs led to a 500% increase in the incarceration from the year 1974 to present-day America. The federal prison population grew from approximately 220,000 in 1974 to over 1.5 million in 2014, thanks to President Reagan's expansion of policy efforts in the 1980s. We must make a shift in the public consensus and understanding of drug crimes and their origins.